Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. Cowboys Fan Show, Tyler Ortega, joined by Scott Jeter, as always. Now, it's time to take your questions from social media that you've sent us on our channels. Find us. We're all over social media on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, at Cowboys Fan Show. Find us, drop us your questions. We'll use them here on the show. So, with that being said, I think you might have heard from now, but the Cowboys made a huge trade on Monday, sending their 2019 first-round pick in the upcoming NFL Draft to the Oakland Raiders, Scott, for Amari Cooper, the 24-year-old wide receiver. There he is in Cowboys colors. He obviously won't be number 89, as we do already have an 89 on the roster, but that's what he's going to look like. That is going to be your new wide receiver weapon, Cowboys Nation. So, Scott, first off, how do you feel about the trade? And secondly, do you think that Dallas gave up too much, relinquishing their next year's first-round pick?
Yeah. I was a huge fan of the Earl Thomas talk. He wants to be in Dallas. He's the best safety in football. We won't give a first-rounder for him, but we'll kick a first-rounder for this guy, who's also due $13.9 million next year. $13.9 million on his fifth-year option. Dez was 16. He says he'd take a pay cut. So, I mean, let's talk about this. You got a receiver, a Dallas receiver, who was a Pro Bowler for a couple years in a row, but had declining production the next couple years in a row. Is going to require, a huge salary cap hit. Who do you think we're talking about? We think, oh, that's Dez Bryant. No, we're talking about Amari Cooper. So it's like, why did we cut Dez to save all this money to pick up Amari Cooper and lose a first-round pick? Yeah. He's on his fifth-year option next year for $14 million. And we lose a first-rounder because of this? I think that this is insane to me, just pure insanity. I've been defending this front office all year.
Yeah.
I cannot defend this one. I think it's a joke. It's completely ridiculous. This is one of the worst moves I've seen this Cowboys front office make in 10 years. And I couldn't be more upset about it, man.
The thing that I don't like about it is one, it reeks of desperation. Totally reeks of desperation. Two, I think it also puts Dak Prescott on a pedestal. They've been saying that he doesn't have these tools. He doesn't have the receivers. They've given him what they think is a legit number one guy. They gave up a first-round pick for him. So I think if Dak isn't able to produce now with Amari Cooper, I think we might see the end of Dak Prescott by the end of maybe next year. I don't think this year, but next year for sure. And let me give you the breakdown on these numbers for Amari Cooper. Career average, this is his fourth NFL season. He averages just 61 yards per game and 1 touchdown about every 3 games. He has 19 career touchdowns in 52 career games. So when you break that down, like I said, it's just about 1 every 3 games, Scott. I don't think, it's worth the price.
Nope.
I do agree he's young, so he does have some potential, but he's already been in the league. This is his fourth year.
He's not worth $14 million.
No, or a first-round
for that
pick.
type of production, much less the first-round pick. I mean, grabbed our ankles on this one. It's horrible. John Gruden looks smart in Oakland.
Well, yeah, and now think about that.
That's hard to do.
Oakland now has 3 first-round picks in next year's NFL draft.
Yeah.
3 of them in the first round.
Yeah, giving up Khalil Mack, that's ridiculous. So there are a couple of positions in football that are the most important positions on the field. I mean, quarterback, obviously, left tackle, defensive end. Receiver, I don't think is one of those.
Yeah.
It's not one of the top 4. Oh my God, we got to have one of these guys, or we're not going to win a Super Bowl. Look at New England out there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And speaking of New England, and they got Josh Gordon for what? A fifth rounder? Come on, and he's more talented of a receiver than Amari Cooper is. I mean, I have a lot of faith in Will McClay. And I really like Stephen Jones. I really do. What they've been doing with this team over the last several years, it has been phenomenal as far as how they're drafting, which I mean could make this even worse. But let's just hope that they know what they're doing here.
Yeah.
And maybe he comes in and he's like the perfect, fit for this scheme, and it revitalizes his career, and everybody's fantastic, and it does make this team better. If it improves this team, I mean that's the whole purpose of having draft capital in the first place.
Sure.
Great. I just don't see it. I mean, we could have drafted somebody in the first next year, taken that money, signed the best safety in football who wants to win a championship in Dallas, and there you go. So is Amari Cooper worth Earl Thomas? and a first-round receiver, not a chance. And, I mean, if you look at last week's game, Michael Gallup was open. Cole Beasley was open. Alan Hearns was running fantastic routes. Dak was getting the ball late to these guys or not getting them the ball at all. So to trade away a first-rounder when I don't think we need a receiver, we need a quarterback, is ridiculous. Because you're right, he's on notice now.
Yeah.
We're obviously not drafting a quarterback next year because we can't, you know. But, yeah, if things don't start happening, Dak's out of Dallas because of this move.
Now, switching gears to one of my favorite things to talk about, firing Jason Garrett. We got this question in over on Facebook, Scott. Now, they want to know, did Jason Garrett play it too safe at the end of Sunday's game?
Yes. Yes, he did. I love Jason Garrett. And Tyler, it's every week he's like, oh, man, this guy is trash. Get him out of here. It's garbage. He's a 500 coach. And every week I defend this guy.
Right. And every week he proves me right.
No, he doesn't. But this week he did.
Oh, you're right. No, actually, he's not a 500 guy. He's sub 500 now.
He is right now. You know, I mean, you can't win on the road. I don't think that's Jason Garrett's fault. I do think there are offensive line issues right now. I think the communication on the road is killing this offense right now.
You still don't think he should have taken a shot?
He 100% should have taken it. And we'll get to that later in the show. He 100%, I mean, the last minute of this game was garbage. You know, I mean, and here's the thing is, I mean, number 9 is in there. We all know what's going to happen. And you know how we know this is because number 9 said this himself. You know, as he was commentating from the booth, that made this game so much more painful for me, was that Romo was talking about, hey, this is how we win this game, and we do the exact opposite. That was painful for me, man. So, yeah, Jason Garrett, he messed this game up. I mean, I don't think all this football team's woes are his problem right now or the cause of him. But, yeah, the last minute of this game was
But, I mean,
bad
it starts
coaching.
at the top. It starts all the way
at the top. But, I mean, I don't know. Dak Prescott, I've never seen that guy with good clock management yet.
And he's been under Garrett every single time.
He's been under Garrett, and you do blame that on coaching. But, I mean, if he's not getting to the line, spiking this ball, calling the right plays, and Linehan's still calling the plays. But again, it starts at the top. Garrett's the guy that kept Linehan. You know
what? I'm just going to go out
no
and say
excuses. I can't make it.
Scott said it himself. Tony Romo totally outcoached Jason Garrett from the booth, in that fourth quarter. Fire Jason Garrett. Hire Tony Romo as the Dallas Cowboys head coach.
I would totally be okay with that. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm on the Romo in train, but not in for quarterback. Put him on the sideline where he can't get hurt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, you know, I mean, when he was, think about Dak's rookie year. Mm-hmm. Who's sitting behind him? Tony Romo. And he played phenomenally. I mean, look at the guy from the booth. He's like, this is how this play is going to run. This is the play that they should run. This is what they should do with this clock. This guy knows football. Absolutely right. And yeah, it was hard for me to watch. Tony
Romo is going to be the head coach of the Dallas Football Cowboys.
And Kellen Moore is our quarterback coach. There have been some bad decisions in the personnel department as far as things go, and if it starts at the top, then I'll say that that's Garrett. For the first time ever, I think Jason Garrett is a player's coach. I really like how he does get the most out of his players. I love the guy as a coach, but man, there's just no defending this last minute of this game.
Either that or the Houston game, for that matter. But let's not. I
can even defend that one, to be honest with you. It's like you don't go for it on 4th and 1 when you're getting stuffed all day on the run anyway. So I can defend that. I can't defend this last one.
Man, I don't know. Anyways, last question. Speaking of the Cowboys and their offensive woes, how does the Cowboys offense, Scott, get consistent, efficient output?
Oh, yeah, you trade for Amari Cooper. No. I couldn't even say that with a straight face, Tyler. Honestly, I'd love to see Travis Frederick get back. Dak's got to he's got to be willing to take a hit, man. He's got to stop trying to make something happen with his legs. He's got to stand tall in that pocket. He's got to take a slap in the chest, man. And he should have got sacked 8 times last game, but he escaped some pressure. But if he's getting rid of this ball faster, more quickly, there you go. And that might be why they traded for Amari Cooper. They're thinking we got a big-bodied, physical guy that can run a slant, he can run the type of routes that gets this ball out of his hands in 2 seconds. I mean, 3-step drop, boom, it's out. Maybe that's what they're thinking here. But I don't know. I think it starts with Dak Prescott right there. He's got to be able to keep his eyes on the field.
Sure.
That's how we do it. Dak has got to settle down. This game is moving a little too fast for him right now, and he's got to be able to stand tall in the pocket and take a hit.
So moving on now, obviously I think you might know the Cowboys are on a bye week this week, so they won't be playing until November 5th. It's going to be a Monday night football game. The Tennessee Titans coming to Jerry World. Hopefully the Cowboys can buck the trend and get back to 500 on that one, Scott. But that's something that we'll talk about a little bit more in depth in next week's show. So no predictions for you, no keys to the game in this episode. So let's just move right into giving some game ball MVPs away for that game on Sunday. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and give mine first because I think I have an idea of where Scott's gonna go with his. So I'm gonna give mine to Tank Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence, he had a phenomenal game, I thought, for being the D-end. You know, he had to deal with trying to contain Adrian Peterson all day. Yeah. He finished with 7 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss. He was in there getting pressure on Alex Smith. He even came away with a QB hit as well. So Tank Lawrence, my game ball MVP from Sunday's game against Washington. Scott?
Okay, and you know, just before I do this, I'm going to have to agree with Tyler that Tank had a good game last week. The other thing is, man, blocking the back on that first touchdown. I swear it, blocking the back. Go back, look at that tape. That is illegal. You can't block a guy in the back. If that doesn't happen, they don't put that first 7 on the board, and that's because of Tank Lawrence. That was a tough one for me to watch right there. But I'm going to give this game ball to Tony Romo himself for calling a fantastic game. There's nobody else I can really give this to. I thought maybe David Irving. David Irving got his first sack. He played well. The defense played phenomenally, but nobody played well enough to win this game. However, Tony Romo from the booth out-coached Jason Garrett in the 4th quarter. And he was on that sideline telling Dak what to do. I mean, we go back to rookie year about how much better he was. I think that clock management's better. I think we win this game. We at least take it to overtime. And, man, number 9 does it all from the booth right there. So for out-coaching, and yes, I still think he's the best quarterback that we would have had on the field if he was still in his jersey last week. I'm giving that one to Tony Romo. I miss you, buddy.
So Romo, I think that's the first game ball MVP for the announcer. I'm going to figure out how to get on those. So that's going to do it for us here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you guys for tuning in once again. Check us out. We're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at the Cowboys Fan Show. And if you missed any of this episode, go check it out on YouTube, where we've got a nice little archive there where you can watch me and Scott talk about football from the past if you'd like. So I think that's going to do it for all of us here. You got any final thoughts?
Maybe even offensive coordinator for Romo. Not, you know, maybe not even head coach, but offensive coordinator. Just put like a little, you know, if he's in Dak's ear, let's
start the hashtag.
That's my final
Romo
thought.
OC.
That's what I want to.
Romo OC. Go out and hashtag. Get it trending.
Gotta start somewhere.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.